How prepared are you for Pulsechain launch and reasons why you should buy Hex now before the launch of Pulsechain? From the latest announcement by Richard Hart in regards to Pulsechain launch, you will agree with me that we are very close to Pulsechain mainnet launch.
How's it going, everyone? Richard Hart here. Been a while since I've streamed. What do we got going on? Good progress on Pulsechain and PulseX. Had a call with the devs, and PulseX is basically done. So can't wait to see what that looks like. I mean, they've got a pretty up the front end. There's a lot of cool stuff they built that you don't realize matters, right? So you want the stats to work right, and you want the stats to show the right numbers. So in addition to just front end for PulseX, which is a Uniswap fork, you also need, you know, the info site that shows all the pairs and all the APYs and all that. Pulsechain, we're going to release a v2.5 testnet with sacrifice balances and the AMM bot run halfway on the ones that are already done. So the AMM bot's done for like Uniswap v2, Sushi Swap, you know, and then we can have people testing this stuff earlier, and we can have, if any mistakes or bugs are going to get found, we can find them earlier. And so instead of waiting for perfect sacrifice balances and perfect AMM bot, we're going to release v2.5 quicker. Might be called 2B or 2.5. I hope it's not called 3, because people are so excited for 3 having complete AMM and complete
The testnet v2.5 and balances are currently running, and this shows how closely and more imminent is Pulsechain launch. I know that many of you are new and probably missed the sacrifice phase of Pulsechain as well as PulseX, but we have some good news that can help you position yourself before the launch of Pulsechain. So, watch this video to the end to find out how best to prepare for the launch of Pulsechain. Welcome to Jafed-Leads Crypto Spotlight, a channel dedicated for crypto news, reviews, updates, and anything crypto related. We have been waiting months for the launch of Pulsechain, and we're still waiting. A lot of people speculated that it may be launched in the next 6 months, some said next year, some even said, Pulsechain launch will be 2nd of December 2024. But as far as this community is concerned, the most accurate and important news is only from the creator of this project, and that is Richard Hart. We've received some significant news that benefits the Pulsechain ecosystem, particularly the running of v2.5 testnet and account balances allocations. With the release of balances of Pulsechain and PulseX, the launching of Pulsechain mainnet may just be in a matter of weeks, but how prepared are you for this launch? Now, for those who didn't take part in the sacrifice phase of either Pulsechain or PulseX, you can still catch up with the method we're going to share. Well, there is only one thing you can do to prepare for the launch of Pulsechain, that is to buy Hex now to get a copy of PHEX on Pulsechain network. Early investors of Hex who were able to hold through the deeps and highs of the price have made a massive gain, and that is about to happen again in Pulsechain and Pulse. This is not financial advice, but I think your best chance to gain massively is by buying Hex. At the time of making this video, Hex is just 10 cents, and that is about 80% deep from its all-time highs. And by buying it, you just positioned yourself to get a copy of the Hex equivalent on Pulsechain network, and that is called PHEX. A lot of people may tell you to wait till when Pulsechain is launched to buy PHEX cheap on Pulsechain network, but the question is, how will you know the price of PHEX on Pulsechain when launched? Mind you, Hex is going to be one of the most traded asset on Pulsechain. I think it's wise to take advantage of its 80% deep now and prepare for Pulsechain launch than just waiting for price of PHEX on Pulsechain. Another important reason why you should buy Hex is, the idea of Pulsechain was built around the Hex ecosystem, and Hexicans need Hex to have cheaper gas charges in terms of long-term staking and everyday Hex use. So the idea is that, when Pulsechain is operational, it will be the first kind of currency that reaches parity. It's the first currency that will have the most liquidity, and that's why we're pretty sure and tell you to buy Hex. It is the best thing you can do to prepare for the launch of Pulsechain, so don't hesitate. You need to prepare for the launch of Pulsechain, because you need to consider the possibility that Hex could reach parity in a third of a second minute hour. When Pulsechain launches, a lot of things are going to happen so fast that the price of PHEX will rise so fast, you may not be chance to get it at the price you are anticipating. So when you think you will be fast and smart to get it fast, you may miss out. That is, PHEX may quickly reach parity and move fast in price. Another important reason is, after the launch of Pulsechain, PHEX will be the latest Richard Heart project or coin in crypto space. Let's see it this way: 1. People got Hex by buying it in 2019. 2. People got Pulsechain by sacrificing in 2021. 3. People got PulseX by sacrificing in 2022. 4. But you have a great chance of getting PHEX without buying just by holding Hex token. On that note, you have to take advantage of the fact that the market is down now and buy as many Hex tokens as possible and just wait for the Pulsechain to launch. Of course, this is not investment advice and we are not advisors. Please do your research before making such a decision. Because the price of Hex could fall further and we don't know when Pulsechain will be launched, so there is no guarantee of that. So, the only real opportunity you have left now before the launch of Pulsechain is to position yourself by buying Hex if you've just heard about Pulsechain and how incredible it is. Final word. If you missed out on Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX massive opportunities, what you can do now is start building your portfolio with Hex and position yourself for Pulsechain, because it's the only real game left. Thanks for your time. I will like to hear your strategy and preparation for Pulsechain launch. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and share.